Hello, Groveland Township. Today's video is being done on May the 3rd, 2022. We thought we'd take a moment here just to upgrade or tell you about how the police services out here work, because we heard there are some comments on the internet and we wanted to make sure everybody knew what the issue really is. First of all, if you look at Groveland's history and go back into the 90s, when our fire chief was Marilyn McGee, she had the foresight to think about making some of the state police that were patrolling I-75 comfortable stopping at Groveland Township. They've always had the responsibility to patrol the I-75 corridor, and there were a group of them that were taking care of I-75 from Great Lakes Mall all the way up to the county line at Genesee. In order to make them feel welcome here, Marilyn had the foresight to give them a desk to stop at, periodically some cookies and milk, and it worked great because eventually they started staying here, and in 1996 it actually was dedicated as a post. I believe at that time, I think it was post 27. As the years went by, some things had changed within the state police, and they actually eliminated some posts and utilized what they call outposts now, or detachments from a main post, and locked into a certain number of posts. And so at that time, Groveland Township became a detachment to the Oak Park post, and that's really where our people report. And the only real difference is the troopers are still out here doing the same work that they were doing before, but it means that they report to a management structure out of Oak Park. And for a few years, they even switched it ahead and reporting to the MSP post up in Flint on Corona Road, but then subsequently they moved it back. It's not really changed what happens out here as far as the detachment is concerned, and the officers, they periodically change like they do in any police force, but their reporting structures just moved around. So Groveland Township is a detachment to the Oak Park facility. We typically have somewhere in the range of 6 to 8 troopers, and they have to take care of patrolling I-75, as I said, from Great Lakes Mall up to the county line at Genesee. They also do the police work within Groveland Township, Rose Township, and Holly Township. And the reason for that is really it's not something per se unique to us. There are about 1,240 townships in the state of Michigan, and about 700 of them roughly are general law townships like we are. Those are, for the most part, smaller communities with the simplest form of municipal government. And since most general law townships are very small, like us, they have a very small tax base. In Groveland Township, for example, roughly 40% of the township is owned by the state of Michigan or the Oakland County. And because of that, our tax base is really small. I mean, we probably compare with a lot of communities for a couple of subdivisions. We have about 2,000 parcels and a little less than that for the number of homes. When you have a small base like that, the state sees fit in many cases, and many of the small general law townships, to provide the police services through the state of Michigan, which provides services to communities that normally don't have their own police department. And that's really how we ended up with the state police here. And they've been here ever since the 90s. Now, we do not pay them a separate fee because it's covered out of state operating funds, the way you and I and everybody in the state pays for their state taxes. We do provide them, however, the facility. We took the upper level at the fire station on Dixie Highway, and at one point in time when they first moved in, we redeveloped that to what they needed at the time. And going forward, when we build the new station across the street behind the Mabus or Task Force 1 building, they will have part of that building for themselves. We don't charge them rent, we never have, and that's fairly common for a lot of communities where the state police have a detachment. That's how we keep the police services. Periodically, they try to do municipal studies for the whole state and look at trouble reports and that, and it depends whether or not we actually get the request to be in it or not. The only one that I actually remember was in 1996, and at that time, we were rated one of the 5th safest communities in the entire Metro Detroit area. So I think most of us would agree that for the most part, we're pretty safe here in Groveland, and they do a great job for us on those activities. The other question I saw some people come up with was in regards to the Oakland County Sheriff out here. Somebody thought, I think, that perhaps Oakland County Sheriff can't write a ticket in Groveland Township, but that's not true. In Michigan, there is a secondary road patrol fund that has been in place for years, which the state of Michigan, through the state police, administers to some of the sheriffs in different counties all throughout the state. and they get this money to help cover what they call secondary road patrols. So as you might imagine, Oakland County can go anywhere, the Oakland County Sheriff can go anywhere it wants in Oakland County, and it can write traffic violations. They're actually paid for through a special funding program. And recently, our state rep issued a bill together with some other people that they're trying to increase that funding and increase it by about 50%. So there's a couple of $1 million, I'm guessing it'll probably be around 3 after the bill goes through, which will go to the Oakland County Sheriff to help them do secondary road patrols. And therefore, they're certainly well within their rights and welcome within the community if they see violators to go ahead and write traffic tickets. We wouldn't want to do anything that would reduce police presence in the area, that's for sure. So if you have any questions, that's the truth on what's going on. We have the state police here. We provide them the facilities. We do not pay them a fee, nor do any of the other municipalities out of the 700 small general law townships that use them pay them for a fee either. They're covered out of state revenues. And the Oakland County Sheriff, as the sheriff in other counties can do, can write tickets anywhere within that county, and they're well within their rights, and they're actually paid what they call secondary road patrol money. That's how the police service is here. I believe some people thought that there was some sort of a fund or special money going back to the state police, but there's not. You're certainly welcome to look at our financial budget for present or previous years. You'll see there's never been a line item set up for paying the state police. What we do have is the Task Force 1 building, which is the catastrophic disaster response team in Michigan for the whole state, and it's one of 11 of them that's in the whole country, located here in Groveland Township. And we thought that was a real coup for us because that's a great resource to have here available to us readily. And because our location is so strategic off of I-75, it makes it easy for that group to respond anywhere in the state, or in some cases outstate as well. That task force group, Task Force 1, is actually indirectly funded through dollars that come from Lansing. They go to Michigan, they go to the state police, and then get written to the Task Force 1 people, and that's really how they pay the rent on the building. We don't charge them that because the building was actually built by Bedrock, and Mr. Bass is the one who collects the rent for the building. We get a piece of that for the property which it sets on that belongs to the township, and so it is tax exempt because it's municipal service, and that money comes from the state to the people that own the property and the building, which the property is ours and the building is Bedrock's. That's the only dollars that transition back and forth. You may have heard something about one other small item, that when people have a liquor license, a portion of the liquor license fee that they pay every year is collected by the Liquor Control Commission in Lansing, and then a portion of that goes back to whichever police agency does the records review when somebody applies for a liquor license. And so in that case, the money that it's a small amount, it's a few $1,000s, around $3,000 a year, would normally go, if we had our own police department, that money actually gets sent to the Oakland County Sheriff because they do all the lookup records when somebody applies for a liquor license. So now you have the entire history of really what's happened here with the state police and the Oakland County Sheriff. We're happy to have both of them in our township. We think they do their respective jobs well, and that's where the money is going from the state coffers, so to speak, to cover those different funds, whether it's a secondary road patrol, liquor license fees, or the Task Force 1 building. And other than that, we provide the state police a home, and we will in the new building. When the deal for the new building and the sale of the old one is actually consummated, we'll be happy to do a video and upgrade you with what's happening there as well going forward. So until the next video, Groveland, have a great day.